Okay, so hey there guys. So today's video is going to be my March favorites. I cannot believe March is basically over. Today is April 1st that I'm filming this, and March has already came and went. I cannot believe that March is over. I'm wearing a super minimal makeup look today. I'm still wearing foundation, blush, highlight, eyeshadow, lipstick, but since today is Easter, happy Easter to everyone who celebrates it. I just literally stayed home today and finally just got to stay home and just spend some time with my family. Because literally, like, throughout the whole week, I've been throwing like a bunch of birthday celebrations for my boyfriend's 30th birthday that I'm kind of just like super exhausted. He was supposed to come over today, but he ended up not coming. He just said he was too tired from all the celebrations that we've had. So, yeah, so pretty much, I spent most of the day waiting for him, but whatever. Easter came and went, and I guess I'll see him next week. So anyway, we're going to start off with foundations because I have quite a few foundations to talk about because I did test out a bunch this month. Of course, I have to give a shout out to my Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I love this guy. And actually, this is like my last, the heck just happened to my necklace? This is my last day of spring break, so I wanted to film this before I went back to school because I go back to school tomorrow and I have to get up at 7:30 in the morning. I've been sleeping late this entire break and it's been so nice, but I have to go back to getting up super early. Okay, so let's get back into the favorites. So I have to mention my Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I just love this guy, and I have fallen even more in love with it recently. It's just one of my go-to foundations when I want a really just soft but full, like, healthy look to my skin. I'm wearing the number 7 foundation today. Because I just wanted something that was super light coverage and just even out my skin tone. I was going to go with this one, which pretty much has the same exact effect, but I just wanted to go with my number 7 today. I've actually been wearing this a crap ton lately. I just wore it on Wednesday just to wear some super light coverage foundation because I had like a doctor's appointment, and then I just went to my boyfriend's house, and then today, since I didn't go anywhere, I did put on makeup for him because I thought he was coming, but I just kept it super minimal, and then I figured I would just film. But this guy is awesome. I love it. I can't rave about this enough. It's so healthy and beautiful on the skin, so lightweight. If you want an everyday lightweight foundation, try this. This is amazing. I've been so blown away by Physicians Formula, and I love this. It's so beautiful. So I had to mention this one again. I'm not going to mention their other products except for their highlighter because I didn't really get to wear the lipstick this month because I was just testing out so many different lipsticks this month that it was harder for me to go back and wear other ones. So now let's just go on to other foundations I've had for a little bit longer. So I finally got to try this one out more this month, and I think I absolutely love this. This is the Burberry Cashmere Long Lasting Flawless Soft Matte Foundation. As you guys know, I did pick this up at Marshall, so I got this for like 15 bucks. And I got it in the shade Porcelain number 11. This guy is so beautiful. It has, again, like a really beautiful matte, soft matte finish to the skin. And I really have been enjoying this. I wear this at least once or twice a week. It just gives you a really beautiful, like, medium coverage to your skin, but it doesn't look heavy because it has a soft matte coverage, and it just makes your skin look so beautiful. Like, it kind of really reminds me of the Lancome one, the Taint Idol, but that one is still my holy grail. But this one is really good. Like, every time I wear it, it makes my skin look beautiful. It doesn't break up on me. I really have not worn this for a full day, but after I wear it for like a few hours at work, I really like how my skin looks at the end of the day. It's a tad bit yellow for me, but other than that, it's a beautiful finish. So I've been digging this foundation too. Then the next one is the NARS, I can never remember the name of this frickin' foundation. NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Oslo. Oh, it says shake well. Maybe I need to start doing that more when I actually wear it. This is super full coverage. If you don't like super full coverage, you probably won't like this foundation. But I find that this is definitely the best NARS foundation I've ever tried. I love the shade. It looks pretty on the skin for a few hours, but after a few hours, it kind of looks a little bit dry. And I kind of find that the same with this foundation. I kind of feel like these are very, very similar foundations. I'm just going to talk about both of them together. This is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Longwear High Cover Foundation, and this is in the shade 2. So I've been testing out both of these foundations this month as much as I can, and I'm not sure if I really love either of them as much as the Lancome or the Dior. Those are still two of my favorite foundations. I honestly think that this one is probably my favorite out of all these newer ones I've tried. I really am a huge fan of this one. It's so pretty. These ones I both got for full price at Sephora. This one my boyfriend got for me, and this one I bought myself. So I didn't have to pay like full price for two of these because I didn't even pay for this. But anyway, it has like a silk fabric kind of look on your skin. And these both look absolutely gorgeous when you first put them on. But I feel like it depends how your skin is that day. If your skin's too dry, these both do cling to dry patches. And they kind of look a little bit flaky in certain areas of your face. I mean, they still give you beautiful coverage. But I'm not as crazy about this foundation as everybody else says that they are, saying that this is like their new holy grail. Maybe I have to put on a lot less, and I'll update you guys on how it wears that way. But it's a beautiful full coverage foundation, but I just don't think it lasts long enough for me to say it's my all-time favorite, because it's definitely not my all-time favorite, but it's not bad. I just think it's good. It's not like amazing to me. I think it's just okay. It's good. It's better than okay. And then this one I feel the same way about. Again, this is in the shade 2. It does feel like fabric on your skin. This definitely feels like no other foundation I've ever tried before. That's why I love trying new Giorgio Armani foundations, because I feel like they're so different and unique feeling. Because the Luminous Silk feels like nothing else that I have in my collection either. It has this beautiful silky formula, but I still prefer that one over this one. The Luminous Silk is one of my top 5 favorite luminous foundations. I almost wore that one today, but I was like, I don't need to wear something so luxurious just to stay in the house. So I just threw on my number 7 foundation, and it did the job. But I do find that this obviously is more matte than the Luminous Silk. This one, but I feel like these pretty much have very similar finishes. This one just feels a little bit more matte on your skin than this one. But this one is still pretty full coverage and pretty matte. I think I also really love the shades of both of these. They both look really beautiful on my skin. So nothing wrong with the shades, nothing wrong with the formula. I just find that they do cling to dry patches. This one looked pretty dry. The last time I wore this the last time that I wore this was to the city last week. So I don't think I've worn it since then. But I did wear the NARS one a couple of days ago. But this one I wore to the city for at least from like 5 p.m. in the afternoon until like 12 a.m. at night. And by the time I was going home, I could notice that it looked pretty dry on my skin. So I don't know if it was the concealer I was wearing or this. I'm pretty sure I wore the YSL concealer though, but I ended up returning that concealer because I ended up not being a fan of that one. But this is good. But again, I'm still going to try these out and let you guys know. I think I did write down some more thoughts about them, because I'm trying to like determine how I feel about all these foundations. I'm still not really sure. I wrote it down in my notepad. Let me just check real quick. Sorry, I'm like so freaking slow. NARS foundation looks amazing when first applied, really beautiful coverage and weightless, but starts looking texturized after a couple of hours and sinks into pores, but still beautiful finish and coverage. Like, I really love the finish of this foundation, so I continue to wear it. And then the Giorgio Armani velvet finish, very comfortable, looks really good on skin for a few hours of wear, looks dry on skin after a while. So that's basically what I had said. So I will continue to test them out. What did I say about the Burberry? Soft matte finish, comfortable, looks great on the skin for a few hours, beautiful finish, very comfortable. So I said very comfortable twice. And then the last foundation is the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Foundation. This is probably my favorite full coverage foundation that I've tried. This is super hella full coverage, but it's very, very comfortable on the skin. This one's in the shade NW13. I haven't talked about this one yet because I hadn't hauled it. when I was talking about my February favorites, because I didn't record my haul until like a couple of videos before this. But this is very full coverage, but it's super comfortable. I don't find that I feel it as much as on my skin as the NARS. The Giorgio Armani is a little bit more weightless than the NARS is. The NARS I definitely feel the most on my skin. Actually, no, the Giorgio Armani. Yeah, this one. But they're still like pretty weightless. They're really like don't bother my skin that much. This one I can feel my skin after a really long time of wear, but I have tested this out for like a long period of time. I did wear this 2 days ago. I went out to like this 90s night thing with my boyfriend's friends. My boyfriend was supposed to come, but he ended up having to like something come up, so he couldn't come. Whatever. But uh this really looked beautiful on my skin at night, and I didn't like sweat or anything like that. I didn't put it on until like 7 p.m. at night because I didn't go out until like 8 p.m. And I wore it from like 8 p.m. to like 1 a.m. and it still looked really good when I got home. It was a nice full coverage foundation and it really covers my skin really well. It basically like if you have like really problematic skin, I think this would be great for you. But I love trying any kind of foundation no matter what kind of skin that I have. But I'm just saying I think that this is a good one for people that have problems with like acne and stuff like that. This is super full coverage. So highly recommend this. I just thought this was great. I feel like this is going to be one of my go-to foundations for the summertime. I think I'm going to wear it more and more then so I can prevent like sweating and stuff since this is waterproof. But we'll see about that. But I think I'm going to wear my Giorgio Armani tomorrow. So that's it for foundations. Let's just move on to... I really don't have any new concealers to talk about. I haven't really fallen in love with a new drugstore concealer recently. I haven't really picked up a new one recently. The only one I'm going to mention that's inexpensive is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and this one's in the shade Fair 5. This is just in my proper shade, and I just wanted to mention this guy. I forgot I wanted to pull a ColourPop eyeshadow, but I've only worn it once. It wasn't really a favorite this month. I just wore it once, so I'm not going to pull it just to tell you guys that, oh, I wore this once and it was pretty. No, I'm going to wear it more this month, and I'll probably mention it in the next video, in my next favorites video. But anyway, this is the only really concealer I've been wearing at least 2 or 3 times a week. If I'm wearing something that's full coverage, I'll go for the Urban Decay All Nighter, or I'll go for this one. This one's really beautiful as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is just such a beautiful formula. It's almost as full coverage as the Urban Decay All Nighter, and it's just a lot easier to blend out, and it's very creamy, very full coverage, just really looks gorgeous under the eyes. I love this guy. I've been a fan of it for a while, so I've been digging that one, and I love the shade. The shade is so perfect for me. It's not as pale as the Urban Decay one is. It's not as white. It's more of like a slightly like ivory kind of shade, but it's not yellow at all. It's really, really beautiful. I love this guy. And then the other one is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. I got this for like $7, I think like $6 at Marshall's, so I did not pay full price for this. And this is beautiful. This one's in the shade Light 16. I think I might even like this more than the newer formula of the Lock-It Concealer. I know like a lot of people weren't a fan of that concealer. I really liked that concealer. But I find that this one's even creamier than that one. The newer version is a lot drier. This is just so creamy, so easy to blend out, does not crease on me. I really love this concealer, and it's a really good shade for me. So I just feel like I need to wear it more and more. Just obviously I don't go for tube concealers every day unless I really have the time. That's why I go for the ColourPop. If I need something that needs to cover like my dark circles under my eyes, if I didn't get enough sleep or anything. But this is gorgeous. It's such a creamy formula. I love this, and it feels so nourishing even though it's a full coverage concealer. I really love this guy. So that's it for foundations and concealers. Now let's move on to eyes. I don't have too many eye products to talk about. I just wanted to mention like some products I had recently hauled that I've fallen in love with. I think you guys know that this is like a pretty much a no-brainer, but this is pretty much the palette I wore the most this month. I really, really wanted to test it out for you guys. So this is, of course, the Line Crime Venus XL eyeshadow palette. This kind of comes as no surprise. This palette is absolutely beautiful. I have tried now every single shade in the palette. I just wore it a couple of days ago again for the first time since I had gotten it because I wore this for a week straight when I got it, and I told you guys that in my review video. And then I wore it a couple days ago, and it's just so beautiful. The mats are just so pigmented and so beautiful to work with. And the shimmer, all the shimmer shades are beautiful as well. This ethereal shade is probably my favorite shade in the palette. It's like this beautiful, like, duochrome-y pinky shade. It's like a peachy duochrome. It's so pretty. And then I also love this Love shade. It's called Love. And it's like this beautiful, like, bronzy, everyday, like, shimmery shade. And then this shade Eden's a really beautiful, like, peachy, reddish kind of shade. They're just, like, unique shades that I feel like Line Crime always really just impresses me with how unique that they are. So those are some of the swatches. I think that those are so beautiful. That one's Eden, that one's Love, and that one is Ethereal. That Ethereal swatch is kind of crappy. But Ethereal actually looks way different on the inner corners and stuff. It comes a lot more off as like a pinky kind of duochrome shade. This looks a little bit more peach, but I feel like it doesn't come off like that on the face. And then, of course, I love the mattes. This shade Idolize and Goddess, I wear these two probably the most because I always start off with Idolize for like a neutral look, or I'll smudge this all on my lower lash line for other looks that I do in the palette because it's like it tames the look a little bit if I wear like a pink eye, like with Passion and Triumph and Goddess. I want to wear like a warm crease shade on the lower lash line. I'll put on Idolize, and it's just such a gorgeous matte. And then Goddess I'll wear in my crease like every single time I wear a pink eye with this palette. I'll just wear that as my crease shade. So this is Idolize and that one is Goddess. I'm not going to swatch all of them because, again, if you really want to see all of them swatched or all of my thoughts on it, go check out my review video. But this is a bomb palette. This one I use constantly on my brow bone. It's so beautiful. And Scallop I use as a transition every time I use it. But I just find I can come up with so many looks with this palette. And I feel like it's such a versatile, everyday palette. But you can also kick it up and do some really romantic looks or some beautiful, like, going out looks. So this is bomb. I freaking love it. I haven't been able to stop using it. And then, of course, I have to mention this guy again. Like, this has been a favorite for the past, like, 3 months already, or basically ever since I gotten it. But I really do use this a ton. Like, if I'm not using other palettes, or if I'm not using a new palette, I'll reach for this palette all the time. And I'm talking about the ColourPop Dream Street palette. Like, I really did not think I was going to love this palette so much because I was like, oh, it's such a random selection of colors. But I really do go for this a lot, as you guys can tell. Like, I really love this palette. I just used it 2 days ago, and I used the this beautiful shade, which is called Water Bearer. It's such a gorgeous matte blue, and then I used Mermaid Boy on the lid, and then I used a little bit of a Too Faced glitter as well, and I used like these beautiful matte shades in the crease. They just work so well. They blend so beautifully. The shimmers are gorgeous. Like, I actually think I prefer this formula even more than their single shadows, and I'm actually wearing a bunch of their single shadows today, all ColourPop. But this is gorgeous. Like, I really can't get enough of this palette. I'm not going to swatch any of the shades because I feel like I've just talked about this like crazy, but I really do love it. And if I'm not wearing the neutrals, I'm wearing like this shade on my lid, and then I'll pop this one on the inner corners, and it's just so beautiful. So I wear this like so much for neutral looks, and I'll wear it for colorful looks with the blue, and I really just have been so impressed. I forgot when I used this the last time because I wore my Sleeping Beauty dress a couple of days ago, and I think I recorded a video in it or something, or maybe I put it in an everyday lookbook. But I used this one when I wore it, but I forgot that that I used that shade the last time because that's like kind of in the dress that I was wearing. But anyway, it's beautiful. I love it. I wore it a couple days ago out, and I just can't get enough of this palette. It's so beautiful. I'm also trying to hit pan on the two, on these two shades here, so I try to use them like constantly every time I use this palette. So this one is Shooting Star, and this one is Magical. I think I would be really surprised if I didn't hit pan on at least one of these shades by the end of the year, because I use this one all the time as a transition shade with this palette. But I say those things, and then I always like take 10 million years to hit pan on an eyeshadow. So, but it is really, really nice. So I've been loving that one. And then I also wanted to mention the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette. I actually have been wearing this a lot more this month as well. I just whipped it out a couple of days ago to wear it, like I said. The only shade that I haven't worn on my lid yet is Oh It's On, but this is so gorgeous on the inner corners, but I have to put this on my lid at some point, because I think it'd be such a gorgeous gold shade. But I did use Splash a couple of days ago. It was so pretty on the lid. It's such a gorgeous glitter. So I think I'm more of a fan of these shades here than I am of these shades here. I think Fairy Dust is beautiful, but I think that these three aren't as good as these four. I think that these four are really gorgeous. Like, Work It and Splash and Oh It's On are very beautifully pigmented, and Rosé All Day is really pretty too. Fairy Dust is gorgeous on the inner corners. I think Confetti and Hot Damn are the only two duds in here for me, but thank God I only paid $15 for this palette. And Glitter Gold is a gorgeous shade too. I just want to just watch Oh It's On. Look how pretty that gold is. Like, so gorgeous. It's just a really, really pretty gold. Let's swatch it a little bit more. See how pretty and reflective that is? I am so full, you guys. We had a roast beef for dinner, and then we had some chocolate cake after that. So I'm so freaking stuffed. I just want to sit on my ass in front of the TV soon in like 20 minutes. So I'm just going to film this and then go do that. But I definitely want to use this a lot more this month, because the springtime's rolling around, and hopefully I'll be able to wear these on my lid with other looks, because I'm trying to incorporate this into other looks. And then the other two palettes are both from Marshalls. This is the Burberry Complete Eye palette. I picked this up a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't think I was going to like this as much as I do. But I actually think the quality is really, really good in this little guy. I think that the, excuse me, that the shades are really nice, soft, buttery shades. I think they're just really soft, everyday gold shades, and I really, really like them. And that's what they look like. I just think they're really pretty shimmers. Why am I swatching with this hand? I usually never swatch on this hand. Let's just go back to swatching on the other hand, Caitlin. Now I'm just going to have swatches literally everywhere, but YOLO. So those are the two shades right there. They don't really look like much, but again, like I said before, when I hauled this, I would never pay full price for it, but I do think it's a nice little palette. But if you can't find this at Marshall's, I would say it's definitely not worth spending $65 on it. I think this was a limited edition palette, or like a holiday palette, because I don't think they really sell this guy. But they are really nice, soft, shimmery shades. And then the last guy is the Smashbox Full Exposure Travel Size palette. I've tried this out twice now, and I actually really like the quality of this palette. I think it's really, really nice. I feel like that the Smashbox Full Exposure eyeshadow palettes kind of get a really bad rap. I've never like heard anyone say, oh my god, this is like my holy grail palette. But I don't know. I think that they do the job of being good eyeshadows. I've used all of the mattes a couple of times, and I think that the mattes are really pretty. And I thought the shimmers performed well, too. I wore this one all over my lid when I first got the palette. I wore this to the city, to a Broadway show with my boyfriend. And this one I wore all over the lid, and I thought it was really pretty. And then a couple of days ago, I wore all of these in the crease, and then I wore like a silver glitter on my lid from the Jouer palette. And again, I thought the mattes performed really nicely. Maybe I just have to try this out more, but so far I think it's a nice little palette. I think this would actually be like a really good travel palette to bring with me, because like I feel like I would have everything I need in here, because these are good enough mattes and enough like shimmery shades for me to just bring this palette, but I don't really travel anywhere. So that's it for, oh, and then I just have two more pigments to share with you guys. I'm probably going to mention these in every single favorites video now, but I finally got to wear these a little bit more this month. And these are the Milk pigments, of course. I'm not going to swatch these because they are literally just going to stick to my hand and they won't move, but they're literally so beautiful. So these are the Milk pigments in Hotel Lobby and Gig. I obviously have worn the other two enough that I don't have to mention them again, but I just wore Hotel Lobby yesterday. With a ColourPop glitter on the center of my lid, and it was just so beautiful. This is such a gorgeous gold shade. They're just so pigmented. I love these guys. And then this one, Gig, is a really beautiful shimmery bronze shade. It's like a taupey bronze. So these just stick to your lid and they don't move. So I'll highly recommend these. Like I've said before, they're not as metallic or glittery as the Stila ones, but they just give your eyes a beautiful metallic sheen and they don't move. They're just so beautiful. I almost wore this today. If I was going to go over my boyfriend's house for Easter, I would have worn this all over my lid, but since I just stayed home, I wasn't going to wear a pigment just to stay home, but I love this, and I love the gold ones, so they are just such beautiful eyeshadows. So that's it for eyeshadows. Let's move on to, I think we're going to move on to highlights and blushes. Oh, let's just talk about two eyeliners mad quickly. Where's the other guy? Where's the other liner? Oh, here it is. So I have two eyeliners from MAC. I have MAC's Costa Riche Eye Kohl pencil. This is, like I said before, such a gorgeous rich brown shade. This is all I've been wearing on my waterline usually, and then when I mention it, I'm not wearing it on my waterline, but it's such a beautiful, deep, rich brown. I love it so much. I wear it with like every single eye look, but I am wearing this one today on my brow bone. This is the brow bone on my waterline. This is the MAC Technical Liner in the shade Risk. Actually, I think it's called Risque. I think I keep on calling it Risk. I don't know why I thought somebody else called it Risk, but I'm wearing it on my waterline today, and it's such a beautiful nude shade, and I wear this like every time I need something just to throw on my waterline to make it brighter. If I'm too lazy to smudge something on my lower lash line, then I'll just throw this on my waterline, and it just brightens up the whole eye look. So I've been digging both of those. And then my Lancome Drama Leak pencil in Noir Intense, which is the black. This is so black, you guys, and this lasts such a long time on the waterline. I might, when I actually use this up, I might purchase the full size because I'm just so, again, I'm so impressed with Lancome products lately that this guy is such a winner. I love this one. And then the last eye product is the MAC Bold and Bad Lash Mascara, and I got this one at Marshall's. And this one makes your lashes so long, so beautiful, gives you such volume. And I'm so glad that I found this at Marshall's, but I think that this might already be a little bit dried out because I feel like it was a very old, oh my god, I'm like feeling so bloated. I'm like so tired. But this is really, really good. And I'm glad that I didn't pay full price for it, but I've been trying it out the whole month. And it really makes my lashes super long, so I've definitely been enjoying that as well. That's the only mascara I have to mention. That's a new mascara, and that is it for the eyes. Now let's move on to the like blushes and highlights. If I can actually grab them. All right, so obviously, actually there's not too many products here. So this is the first one that I have to talk about. I've been so obsessed with this highlighter ever since I picked it up. I might have mentioned this in my last favorites video, but I've just worn it even more this month. This is my most worn highlighter this month. This is the Lancome Dual Finish Highlighter in the shade Sparkling Peach. It's the Multitasking Illuminating Powder All Day Wear. This is just so freaking beautiful, you guys. I am just totally obsessed with this highlighter. It just has such a gorgeous, like, cream to powder formula. And it's so beautifully intense. If you guys can see that, it's kind of taken the place of Champagne Pop for me. I know that's like, I feel like I had some shimmer there, but like my nose is so stuffy right now. It just has this gorgeous, like, peach champagne kind of vibe to it that I've just been obsessed with the shade and the formula. So that is the color. And I just wear this like whenever I need to wear a gold highlight or something I know is going to be super intense. I go for this guy. I wear this at least once a week, I think. Look how beautiful it is. Like, could you ask for anything more? So I've just been obsessed with it. I just wore it last night with another highlighter, and It just looks so beautifully intense on your cheeks. I have been obsessed with this. It's so beautiful. This is one of my all-time favorite formulas of highlight. It's so amazing. I'm obsessed. But something I literally feel like is probably an exact dupe for the formula is the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter in the shade Champagne. I'm still not sure which one that I love more, but I still love both of these highlighters so freaking much. They're so gorgeous. This one I find to be just a little bit more intense, maybe because it's a little bit more gold, and it might just have a little bit more of an intense, creamier formula. But I can tell it's a little bit more yellow gold. So that one is the Physicians Formula right here. They do look very similar on camera, but look how intense they are. So this is the Physicians Formula, and that's the Lancome. They're both incredibly gorgeous. This one, I find I only need like 2 or 3 swipes of it. I don't even need Fix Plus with this or any type of setting spray because it's so beautifully intense on the skin. I'm obsessed with this too. This is definitely my other most worn highlighter this month. It's so gorgeous. I love it. And then I wanted to mention MAC's Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Oh Darling. This one I've only worn a couple of times, but I did mix it with the Lancome highlighter last night, and that's how I wore my highlight yesterday. And this is really pretty too. I do find that this one's a little bit more of a yellow gold than the other two, or more like a bronze gold, so I feel like it's a little bit dark on my skin if I wear too much of it, but it does have a really beautiful formula. Like I had said before, when I first got this, I wasn't too insane about it, but the more and more I wore it, the more I love it. And see how intense it swatches? It's this guy right here. Look how pretty and reflective that is. And when I'm looking at it in person, it is so beautiful. So I've definitely been a fan of this one too. And I can't wait to wear that more. And then speaking of, I'm just trying to go through the individual highlights and then we'll go for the palettes. Of course, I had to mention my Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter again. I do wear this a crap ton, so I did want to mention it one more time. I'm just going to give it a very little shout out. So this is Lighting Dust and this is Fire Crystal. It's just like unlike any highlighter I've tried. It's so beautifully intense on the skin and it has such a buttery formula. And it's just so freaking beautiful. I wore this like a couple of days ago, I believe, on like Tuesday. And I think I mixed it with a little bit of an Ofra highlighter and a little bit of the Lime Crime Mermaid palette, the Aurora shade, and it all was just so beautiful together. But this makes for such a beautiful base, and it's so intense on the skin. So again, props to Rihanna. She really did blow it out of the water with these. And then the next one is the Burberry Fresh Glow Highlighter Illuminating Powder in the shade Rose Gold number 4. This is actually really pretty on the skin. I've worn it a few times this month, and I actually really enjoy it. I wouldn't say this is like my all-time favorite formula of, sorry, my nose is so stuffy. It's not my all-time favorite formula of highlight, but it is very pretty. I really do love the tone of it because it's not like your typical rose gold shade, especially like after the next shade that I'm going to swatch. It has, again, more of that jelly kind of formula, gelée kind of formula, and that's the rose gold highlighter right there. It has like a medium intensity on my skin, but I do like how it looks on the skin, and again, I didn't have to pay for this guy. My boyfriend got it for me, so it is really, really pretty. And then the last individual highlighter is the Maybelline Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlighter in the shade Molten Rose Gold. I did wear this one a couple more times this month. I almost dropped that. Alright, sorry. So this is the last highlighter. This is the Rose Gold Metallic Highlighter by Maybelline. And as I've told you guys before, I love the gold version of this one, the Molten Gold, and this is the other shade, and I think I've said that every time I actually talk about this guy, but it is so gorgeous, so intense. If you guys haven't tried these Maybelline highlighters, I highly suggest that you do because they are so intense and beautiful. So that one is Molten Rose Gold up there. And if the Burberry one is outside of your budget, totally try these because I actually prefer the formula of this over the Burberry because these are just so beautiful and these are right up my alley. They're so beautiful and intense. I just wore this a couple of days ago and I think I mixed it with the other highlight that I'm about to talk about in a few minutes because I want to transition into blushes when I talk about that one. And this is beautiful as well. I love this guy. I've been loving this for a while already. Okay, then I wanted to talk about a couple of highlighter palettes. The first one is, I'm sorry if I'm like so down right now. I'm just so tired and it's just been like a hell week for me. It's been a good week, but it's also been a bad week, so I just feel pretty run down right now. So this is the ColourPop Innuendo highlighting palette, and this is actually really gorgeous. I did haul this a couple of days ago. These are just so beautiful on the face. And these are the shades that you get in here. I think my favorite shades are Glad You Came and On the Loose, but they're all beautiful. But I definitely use like Glad You Came like every time I use this palette. It's just so gorgeous and intense on your face. And these like kind of almost look kind of wet. I can actually wipe these swatches off on my hand. But I think I just swatched these in the actual haul when I actually talk about them. But I'm going to swatch them again because you guys know I'm a highlighter whore and I love swatching highlighters. But I obviously have to show you guys how intense these are. If I can get a good freaking swatch. So those are the ColourPop ones. Look how pretty those are. This one is Glad You Came and this one is On the Loose and that one is Morning After. If you could actually freaking see it. So that one is Morning After up here. It's a very peachy one. Look how intense they are. So I really have been enjoying these. I've worn them quite a few times and I'm going to continue to wear them. I almost wore these today, but I just popped on Becca's Moonstone because I wanted to wear it today. So this is gorgeous. And if you guys haven't tried the ColourPop highlighters, I highly recommend that you do. They are so beautiful. And then this guy, I feel like I'm finally a fan of this palette. It took me a little while to warm up to it, but now I think I really love it. This is the Kat Von D Metal Crush highlighting palette. Metal Crush Extreme Highlighter Palette. I really love wearing these as like glittery toppers when I wear like an intense highlight. I'll pop these on as a glitter topper and I think they look really gorgeous that way. I don't really necessarily love wearing these by themselves, but I love wearing them with like Ofra's Rodeo Drive or like an Anastasia highlighter. I'll wear it with this guy and it just looks so beautiful. I forgot what combo that I did a couple of days ago, but I definitely wore this shade. I think I wore this with Daydream from the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero palette and they looked so beautiful together because this added just such a glittery intensity to the look. So these are just really, really glittery highlights, but I've actually worn the orange one the most, so I probably should swatch this one. After this, I have to go because there's a special going on that my mom and I are going to watch. But those are the three shades, and they're just really pretty glittery highlights. That's the pink, that's the white, that's the tangerine, orangey kind of shade. And they're really, really pretty highlights. So I think I'm going to wait to wrap up highlights and blushes after I'm done. So I'll talk to you guys a little bit. Alright guys, so let's wrap up this favorites video. So I wanted to talk about this Beauty Bakery Scoops Elise Face and Body Palette because I wanted to talk about the highlight in here and then we'll move on to the blushes. This is mostly a blush palette, but there is one highlight in here. So this one is called Beige Net and this is the highlight. This highlight is so beautiful on the skin, you guys. It's so intense and it has like this banana iridescence to it. It's such a beautiful like yellow banana highlight. It is so intense though. Like I'm barely touching this and this is how much comes off on it. This is such a gorgeous highlight. This has such a gorgeous formula. This one is Beige Net. Look how gorgeous that is. It's so pretty. And these powders in here, because I'm also going to mention the blushes as well, are very, very pigmented. They're kind of really powdery as well. They have a lot of kick up, but they perform beautifully on the skin. They are so pigmented, so you have to use a very light hand, but the highlight is so intense. It's like a very powdery formula, but I don't find there's really any kick up on your skin or any like fallout when you're actually highlighting your cheeks. But it's so beautiful and intense, and I really have been enjoying it. And then the blushes are also gorgeous. We have this brulee shade, creme brulee shade, which is a beautiful everyday wearable orangey blush. We have French Tart, which is a beautiful intense orange. And this one is pink truffle, which is a gorgeous pink. I'm not going to swatch all of them. I'm just going to swatch creme brulee because I really have been wearing this as like an everyday shade. Again, these don't swatch like amazingly, but on the face, this is such a pretty blush. So I definitely have been enjoying that one as well. So these are all gorgeous blushes. Again, very pigmented, but they are definitely, I think that this is actually better than the lipsticks that I've ordered from them. I think that the blushes are better. And again, I feel like that's always the case with newer brands that I've tried. I feel like I've been more impressed with the powder products than I have been with the lipsticks. And I feel like the lipsticks are like more so of what people hype up from Beauty Bakery because they're mostly well known for their lip products. So now let's move on to some other blushes. I wanted to mention this Makeup Forever little duo that I have, and this is the blush I wanted to talk about. It's like this really beautiful orangey blush. I can't remember the name of this because they're all numbered, but it's a really beautiful peachy tone blush, and like I've said before, it is the most buttery blush when you dip your finger into it, and it's such a buildable, wearable blush. I really do love this guy. I've been wearing it a lot this month, and I just really, really like this blush a lot. It's so pretty on the skin, and again, such a creamy formula. I'm not too crazy about this highlighter though, this Makeup Forever highlighter, but I am really loving the blush. I mostly use this highlight to layer under other highlights, but when I wear it by itself, I'm just really not thrilled with it. I much prefer the Makeup Forever duo that I have. That gold highlight in there is so gorgeous. But this highlight is just, it's not my favorite. But I wanted to just talk about this for the blush. This blush is beautiful. I really am digging the new Makeup Forever formula. I've never tried Makeup Forever blushes before, so I was so excited to try this new blush formula from them, and it's really beautiful. I also really wanted to mention this guy. I really have been enjoying this one. This has definitely surprised me, and this is like the cheapest blush out of all the blushes that I'm talking about. This is the Essence Satin Touch Blush in the shade Satin Coral. And this is a really beautiful, just everyday wearable shade. It kind of reminds me of the formula of the Makeup Forever blush that I just talked about. I'm hoping these aren't like straight up dupes for each other. Hold on. The colors look very, very similar, so let's give it a little swatch and see, like, okay, the Essence blush is slightly more corally. So that one is the Essence blush, and that one is the Makeup Forever. That one's the Beauty Bakery. They're all slightly different. The Beauty Bakery definitely has, this is creme brulee, it has more orange in it. The Essence one is a little bit more of a orangey coral blush, and the Makeup Forever definitely has the least orange in it. It's like the most wearable. But anyway, it's just a really pretty satiny blendable formula. It's a really pretty everyday blush. I've been wearing this a couple times this month, and I really have been enjoying the formula. As you can see, it's kind of worn off a little bit of the design in the middle, but I was just really intrigued on trying this from Kathleen Lights and from Young Wild and Polish, and they kind of convinced me to try these because they were just so inexpensive. I was like, might as well give them a shot. And then the next blushes I wanted to talk about are the Natasha Denona blushes, and these are the Natasha Denona Blush Duo Palette in Tutu and Golden Coral. This is definitely a lot more expensive than the blush I just talked about, but I'm kind of like going in and out of like expensive blushes and not very expensive blushes. I actually really have been enjoying the formula of these. I think that they're really, really nice. I think I like the pink shade more than the orange. I think the orange is a little bit too subtle for me, but I do like this on really, really light makeup days or with a look that I don't know what blush to wear with. if I just want to wear like a really light makeup look. And this is a really pretty like pinky blush, and they have a nice smooth formula. I'm just again like not very impressed with Natasha Denona as a brand, but I did want to try out her blushes. I was very interested in trying them, and I do think that these are nice. So I do like the formula. These are enough to keep them. But I don't think I'm going to try anything else from Natasha Denona. Just I think that her brand is just so overpriced that I think that this is all I really need to try. And I do really like this. I also think this is more worth it since you get 2 products in here, 2 blushes. I think that just her eyeshadows are just so overpriced. I was thinking about trying the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, the mini one, but those eyeshadows just don't really interest me at all in the mini one. I still want the bigger one, but I'm not going to spend $130 on it. It's just way too overpriced. So, but this is really pretty. So I definitely have been wearing those this month. And then the last blush I wanted to mention, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned in my last favorites video, is the Burt's Bees Blush with Bamboo Blush in the shade Toasted Cinnamon. This is a really, really pretty, again, like totally opposite spectrum of the cost, because this blush is only like $8 and that Natasha Denona Duo is like almost $40. But this is also a really pretty creamy everyday blush, but it's also pretty pigmented, and I really have been enjoying this too. And it has this really pretty like orangey tone to it. Again, I pretty much have a theme with what kind of blushes I'm showing you guys, but this one's a lot more of an orangey blush. And I still haven't swatched it next to Wild Honey to see if it's a dupe for it. I need to do that. I need to do like another dupes video or something, but I feel like those just take forever. And I still have like so many videos to post that I feel like I'm just not going to have enough time to do a dupes video until probably like the summertime, because I'm going back to school tomorrow. So I'm just trying to finish up this favorites video. But this is really pretty. So pigmented on the skin. This is definitely a really nice blush for the price. So that's it for blushes. Now let's move on to lips, finally. Let's talk about what's on my lips right now. So I wanted to mention 2 MAC lipsticks. The first one is the MAC The Right Note Cream Sheen Lipstick, and this is by Nicki Minaj. I think I was wearing this in my Lime Crime eyeshadow palette review, and I was also wearing this in my Sephora luxury makeup haul, and I feel like every time I wear this lippy, I film a video. But this is a really pretty, like, everyday wearable nude shade. As you guys know, I love MAC lipsticks, so obviously I have to mention this. I love the cream sheen formula. This is just a beautiful everyday nude. So, but this is again by Nicki Minaj, and I knew I was going to love this because it's MAC. And then this is the one that I'm wearing on my lips today. This is the MAC by Patrick Star Lippy, matte lipstick in the shade She Better Work. And I did tell you guys when I did haul this lipstick, this is only the second time I'm wearing this lipstick, because when I actually had hauled this lipstick, I hadn't worn it yet. So this is the second time I'm wearing it this week, because I'm like, I've only worn it once, and I believe it was like on Wednesday, so I wore it today for Easter. And this is such a beautiful, like, cool toned pink, and it's just like such a perfect matte pink shade. I really love this as an everyday wearable pink shade, so it's right there. And I think I'm going to get a lot more use out of it within the next couple of weeks. Of course, I'm like obsessed with the packaging. I love Patrick Star. I think he's so awesome. And I'm really proud of him. And I saw his new spring reveal for his new spring collection, and that looks really pretty as well. But I'm glad that I picked up this guy. I should have picked up the powder though, because it's not like I needed another lipstick. But I hadn't really picked up a MAC lipstick like since last year. I haven't bought one. So these are the only 2 new lipsticks from MAC that I've added to my collection. And now I really want to talk about these guys. I've been obsessed with these this month. These are the ColourPop Luxe lipsticks, and these are the 2 shades that I have. I believe when I had first hauled them and when I first got them, I hadn't shared them in a favorites video, so I've been dying to try to update you guys my thoughts on these. I really love these lipsticks. So this one is in the shade Layover, and this is such a gorgeous everyday nude shade. I believe I was wearing this in another video. Maybe I didn't post it yet. But look how gorgeous that nude shade is. It's just a beautiful everyday matte nude shade. I've been digging this one a lot. And then this one is the shade Money Side Up. I don't know how to really describe the formula. They're just super comfortable on the lips. This one is a super beautiful pink shade. I was wearing this in my Get Ready With Me with Chit Chat Get Ready With Me featuring the Lime Crime Venus eyeshadow palette. I was wearing this lippy on my lips. And this is what this one looks like. I've worn this one a couple of times to work with that sweatshirt that I was wearing in that video. And I wore the same eyeshadow look when I wore this. So I've worn this a couple of times. And this is such a beautiful like pink shade. And it's a very comfortable formula on the lips. I really love that one. I forgot to grab another lipstick though, but I'll go grab it in a minute because I have a ton of lipsticks to talk about. The next one is the Fenty Beauty Fenty by Rihanna Mademoiselle Plush Matte Lipstick in the shade Single. I got to wear this a couple more times this month, and this is such a bomb formula. I so love this freaking lipstick. It's such a comfortable, creamy formula on the lips, and I've just really been digging this one as well. I don't really want to swatch this too harshly. But this one's more of like a warmer tone nude as compared to the ColourPop one. And it's a little bit more peachy tone than the ColourPop one, so that one is the Fenty Beauty one. It's so comfortable on the lips, and it's so creamy, and I really, really love this formula. I think I'm going to wear this on Tuesday to class. I can't get enough of that. Then the next guy is I just want to finish up with the regular lipsticks, and then we'll move on to liquid lipsticks. This one is the Burberry Kisses Hydrating Lip Color in the shade Garnet number 81. I picked this one up at Marshall's. I've worn this one only twice, but this is also a really nice hydrating formula. It's not the creamiest, most hydrating thing I've ever worn on my lips, but I do enjoy the formula enough, and the color's really pretty. It's very sheer as well. But that one is the Burberry one. Again, it's very sheer, but it's not as sheer on the lips. You can build it up to be really, really pretty. And I'm glad that I got this at Marshall's because I would never pay full price for this lipstick. I just never think that some of these things are that worth it full price. It's nice to find them at Marshall's, and this was such a good find. And this is a really pretty, like purpley lipstick. I feel like I needed like a color like this because I don't really have them in any colors like this. So this is really pretty on the lips. Okay, then moving on to liquid lipsticks. The first one I wanted to talk about is the YSL Yves Saint Laurent Matte Lip Stain in the shade 7. I did do a full liquid lipstick review and check-in on this guy. It's so pretty on the lips, and this is probably the most comfortable formula of lipstick I've tried since the NARS one, but this one literally feels like nothing on your lips. It feels like so airy and light. And it feels like a beautiful, smooth, whipped formula. It's so pretty on the lips. And this is such a gorgeous nude shade. I'm going to swatch it over here. It's such a pretty nude. I'm obsessed with this shade. And every time I wear it, I'm blown away by how comfortable it is on the lips. It's a very, very wet formula, but it dries down very quickly. And then after that, I feel like it's the most comfortable thing I've worn on my lips. I love this. I've worn this about 3 times now, and it's a really beautiful formula, and I'm glad that my boyfriend got this one for me too. Then I also got the Burberry Primrose number 21 Liquid Lip Velvet, and this one is in the shade Primrose, like I said. And this is a really gorgeous pink shade, and again, this has such a beautiful, comfortable formula. I haven't posted my matte liquid lipstick review and check-in on this yet. I probably will in like a day or two before this video goes up, maybe. Depends on when I actually post this video because I have to post a Chat Get Ready With Me before this video goes up. So this one is the Burberry color. This again is super comfortable on the lips. It feels like nothing. It feels like a lip velvet on your lips. I do find you have to put a couple of layers of this on or it's not completely opaque. But after you layer it up, it's beautiful. It never feels drying on your lips. It's gorgeous. I don't know what they put in both of these, but they are not drying at all. I know that they're very pricey, but if you are intrigued in splurging on one of these, it's really hard to recommend just one because I think both of them are awesome. So I think I would give both of these a shot and the NARS one's a shot. if you guys are looking for like a new high-end lipstick. These are both absolutely amazing. I love both of the formulas. Then the next one is the Lime Crime Lip Plushie in the shade Rosebud. This is a very interesting formula, but it's very, very comfortable on the lips, and I really love the shade as well. It has more of a watery consistency like the YSL one, but it's very comfortable, and I didn't think this was going to be as opaque on the lips as it is, but this is probably the only one I'm going to try because I don't really mind the Velveteens, and I'm going to mention another Velveteen in just a minute. Which is their regular liquid lipstick formula, but that's the Lip Plushie in Rosebud. And it looks very sheer on my hand, but it builds up to be a really beautiful color. So I definitely really like this as well. It's very comfortable on the lips. And then the Lime Crime Velveteen in the shade Cherub. This is the one that I got as my free Velveteen with my order when I placed the order for the Venus palette and that lip plushie. So this is the color that I decided to get. I have never tried this one, and I think this was the only one that I was really interested in. I really should pick up backups of my favorite shades that I have had to declutter, like Red Velvet, Pink Velvet, but maybe I'll pick them up when they have a sale at some point, like two for, like sales. They sometimes have Velveteen sales where they're like $10 a piece. So I might do that at some point and pick up like 3 shades that I need in my collection, like Red Velvet, Pink Velvet. I might declutter some other colors again at some point. I have decluttered about 7 or 8 already, but this is a beautiful shade on the lips. I wasn't going to wear this right away when I first got it, and then once I wore it, I fell in love with the shade. And of course, I fell in love with the formula, but it's Lime Crime Velveteens. But this one is very similar to Riot and also Rustic. So I feel like I could kind of get away with having this for a while. It's a little bit less warm orangey shade than Rustic, and also it's a little bit not, it's more like an orange, and Riot's a little bit more of like a terracotta shade. I'm so horrible at explaining shades. I'm so sorry, but it is really, really beautiful. So I've worn this a couple of times, and I love this guy. And then the last one is, well, not the last one. I have to grab one more shade. This one is the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche Liquify Lip in the shade Whip. I know, again, that Young Lawn Polish wasn't too crazy when she talked about this, but it has just literally like a whipped formula. It's like a very pigmented gloss, which, again, you could kind of get the same effect from like the Maybelline Vivid Lip Lacquers. They're kind of the same kind of formula as this, but this one's just a little bit less thicker than that. Actually, it's probably more thick. So that is the Lip Whip in the shade Whip. But I have been enjoying this. I really like it. I think I've worn it like 3 times now, and it's a really pretty, lightweight, glossy kind of formula. But it feels really nice on the lips, and I don't find it to be sticky or anything like that. I really have been enjoying it. And then the last one is the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip Kathleen Lights and ColourPop collab in the shade Reve. I wore this a couple of days ago to a 90s night. Like I said, I wore the Kathleen Lights palette, and I wanted to wear the collab shade with the actual eyeshadow palette. So I wore, because I know, when I told you guys before, like a couple of months ago, when I first got the Dream Street palette, I was obsessed with her Lippy and Dreamy. So I was wearing that all the time. I think I wore it with this palette, but I haven't worn this shade with it in like a couple of months because I wanted to bust this out more when it started to become like spring or summertime. And now since it's spring, I wore this straight up by itself a couple of days ago. And plus we wore it to a 90s night. Like one of my friends wore, or my boyfriend's best friend's girlfriend wore like this kind of shade on her lips. The pink that I'm wearing right now is like a frosty pink. And I wore this shade, and I wore the Dream Street palette with it. And this did not move. This, like, I feel like acts like a matte liquid lipstick. This is, like, one of the most pigmented Ultra Satin lips I've ever tried. I mean, I didn't really eat anything. I mostly just drank with it. But it stayed on so beautifully. Like, it didn't really transfer to anything when I was drinking. But I was drinking everything through a straw. But I didn't notice any lipstick come off when I was actually drinking something. Like, I had a hot chocolate at Dunkin' Donuts, and then I had like 2 drinks at the bar. and it really stayed on really gorgeously on my lips. It's so pretty on. I'm going to be obsessed with this in the summertime. It's a gorgeous like orange color. It's not really an orange red. It's kind of a little bit more orange, but it's not like too tangerine, so it doesn't look like a bright ass orange on my lips. So it's really, really pretty. Alright, I'm sorry I keep on having to pause the video, but the last lippy I wanted to talk about was the Giorgio Armani Lip Maestro in the shade 202. This is a really beautiful, comfortable lipstick as well. So I've rotated all of these lipsticks about 3 times now, so I pretty much know my feelings about them. And this is a really pretty nude shade as well. This one is the Bite Beauty one underneath it, and that one is the Giorgio Armani. I know I have so many damn lip favorites, but I've tried a crap ton of new formulas because I did get rid of a lot of lipsticks, and I also do have another declutter video coming up. But this is the Giorgio Armani one. This one's a little bit more, kind of reminds me of the Ultra Satin Lips from ColourPop, but this has a little bit more of a thicker formula than the Ultra Satins, which this is Reve by ColourPop, and that's an Ultra Satin. These are the 2 Luxe lipsticks from ColourPop. This is the Burberry lipstick. This one is the, which one is this one? Right Note by MAC. This one is Patrick Starr's She Better Work. This one is the Line Crime Lip Plushie. That one, oh my god. Where's, this one is Cherub by Line Crime. And I think that's it. No, this one is Cherub. Now I'm getting lost. I think this is the YSL. Alright, we're gonna get lost. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is the NYX Glitter Primer. I've been using this all the time. Every time that I wear a glitter now, I've been putting this on my lid, and it really has been helping transferring and stuff like that. I mean, I still feel like things transfer on my lid to my crease, and I feel like it's still difficult for me to find something that really helps it adhere to my lid. So if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. I've heard that the Too Faced glitter primer is the best one, but this one is good. I just don't want to spend the money on the Too Faced glitter primer. I found that this kept my Dream Street eyeshadow palette and the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette pretty intact, but the Jouer Skinny Dip foiled shadows kind of transferred a little bit when I wore this, but this also did work pretty well with the milk pigments as well. So I definitely like this too. And that's pretty much it. That's everything, you guys. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. I hope everyone had a great Easter and a great Passover as well. Passover, we had a little Seder, and we had brisket and matzah and everything because I am Jewish. And today we had a nice roast beef and some mashed potatoes and asparagus for my dad because my dad is Christian. So that is pretty much it. Whoever's going back to school, good luck. I'm sorry if your spring break didn't go as well as you planned. And for people who had a great one, or if you didn't have a great one, I hope you enjoy. I hope you just took this time to relax, spend time with family, friends, stuff like that. But I'm going to go because I actually did get to stay home all day today, so it was really nice. My boyfriend ended up not coming to Easter, so it kind of sucked. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I need to go take my makeup off now and get ready for bed because I have school at 9:30 tomorrow. So bye, and please let me know what your favorites were this month. If I rambled on too much, I'm sorry. I just always have a lot of favorites every month, and let me know if any of these were your favorites as well. If you tried any of these products, please let me know. So thanks, guys. Bye.